Namaskar and good evening. Welcome to this edition of a media briefing. We have a number of questions in front of us. May I hand over the floor to Yatin for the questions, please.
So first set of question is on recently concluded EM's visit. Pushkar from New Indian Express is asking, EM visited Qatar twice within a week. Could you please share details about his meetings with top Qatari leadership? Saddam from Vion is asking that EM was in Qatar 2 times in span of few days. What was the key focus and how much Afghanistan was part of conversation? Sandeep from Tribune is asking, could you tell us about EM's recent interaction in Qatar, Kenya and Kuwait? Agni Roy from ABP is asking, EM visited Qatar twice in a week and met leadership there. Doha being the center of US Talib talk, does this double visit has any significance for Kabul diplomacy? I have similar question from Deepak Ranjan from PTI Bhasha.
Thank you, Yatin. Look, EM recently visited both Kuwait and Kenya. During these visits, he transited Qatar, and during these transits, he met with his Qatari counterpart as well as the senior members of the Qatari leadership. As Qatar is involved in the Afghanistan peace process, the issue of Afghanistan was also discussed during EM's conversations. US Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation, Zalmay Khalilzad, happened to be in Doha during this period of EM's visit and called on EM to brief him on the recent developments regarding Afghanistan. As regards Kuwait and Kenya, we have issued detailed press releases apart from sharing other information through social media and on our website. I really don't have much more to add for the moment on that. Yatin.
Daria from Sputnik is asking, Turkey says that it would provide security cover at the Kabul International Airport. The Turkish leadership has also asked Pakistani security agencies to help in the effort. How does the MEA views the development? Overall, are there any concerns about such calls for Pakistan's greater involvement in Afghanistan after US troops exit?
I think our position regarding the Afghan peace process is well known and I need not repeat it today. As regards your specific question, we can only speak for ourselves. India has been pro-development, pro-democracy, pro-human rights, pro-progress. It is for the people of Afghanistan to judge how each of their partners on how the actions of these partners have affected the Afghan people. I think I will leave it at that.
Daria from Sputnik has another question. Pakistan's foreign minister has written to the UN Security Council expressing concern that India seeks more administrative changes in Jammu and Kashmir. Is India planning a rebuttal of these claims at UNSC? Deepak Ranjan from PTI Bhasha is asking, पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने हाल ही में संयुक्त राष्ट्र के अधिकारियों को जम्मू कश्मीर मामले पर पत्र लिखा. वहां का शीर्ष नेतृत्व इस मामले में दुष्प्रचार करने में लगा हुआ है. इस पर आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है? I have a similar question from Madhurendra from News Nation.
Look, I will only say that the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. No amount of questioning can change this reality. Also, cross-border terrorism is unacceptable, and no amount of justification can make it acceptable.
Manush from PTI is asking, was there any problem between India and Pakistan on issuance of assignment visas? If yes, has the issue been resolved?
Look, these are routine administrative matters. I understand both sides cleared all pending assignment visas yesterday.
Deepak Ranjan from PTI Bhasha is asking, पाकिस्तान की अदालत में कुलभूषण जाधव के लिए वकील नियुक्त करने की याचिका पर सुनवाई अक्टूबर तक बढ़ाई गई है. इस मामले में ताज़ा स्थिति क्या है? प्रणय फ्रॉम एबीपी न्यूज़ इज आस्किंग, पाकिस्तान में इस्लामाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने कुलभूषण जाधव के लिए वकील नियुक्त करने के मामले पर सुनवाई को अक्टूबर.
I apologize for the interruption. There seems to have been a technical difficulty we are facing today regarding our transmission. Let me repeat what I was saying on the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. We have seen the news reports relating to the Review and Reconsideration Bill 2020 that has been passed by the National Assembly of Pakistan. The bill codifies into law the earlier ordinance, frankly with all its shortcomings. It does not create a machinery to facilitate effective review and reconsideration of Sri Jadhav's case, as mandated by the judgment of the International Court of Justice. The ICJ had ruled that Pakistan was in breach of its international obligation because of the failure to provide consular access to Sri Jadhav. The ordinance, and now the bill, invites the municipal courts in Pakistan to decide whether or not any prejudice has been caused to Sri Jadhav on account of the failure to provide consular access. This is clearly breach of the basic tenet that municipal courts cannot be the arbiter of whether a state has fulfilled its obligations under international law. Not only this, it further invites the municipal court to sit in appeal, as it were, over the judgment of the ICJ. We call upon Pakistan to take appropriate steps to address the shortcomings in the bill to comply with the judgment of the ICJ in letter and spirit. Yatin.
मधुरेंद्र फ्रॉम न्यूज नेशन इज आस्किंग, भारत को मिलने वाली विदेशी वैक्सीन को लेकर क्या अपडेट है? संदीप फ्रॉम ट्रिब्यून इज आस्किंग, is there any clarity on how many vaccines will be gifted to India by US and by when? Praveen Gautam from Newspoint is also asking similar question.
As I have said earlier, we are awaiting further details regarding the timeline and the quantity of vaccines that the US government has announced that it would share with various countries, including India. I don't have any particular update for the moment on that.
Pushkar from New Indian Express is asking, the US Embassy has opened visa applications. However, universities are insisting on vaccines by Moderna, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. Is any alternate being worked out for those students who have taken Covaxin or Covishield?
Look, there is no uniformity in these requirements. The US government has clarified that the vaccination is not a mandatory requirement for traveling to the US for our students. I also understand that there are multiple conversations going on between our students and the universities. We would obviously support our students. I think everyone concerned is interested in ensuring that the students are able to reach the universities and undertake regular classes. And we hope that a constructive solution is found.
Saddam from Vion is asking, Japan has said that it will issue vaccine passports to its citizens. Do you see its wider implication with more countries soon issuing such passport, and will India issue such passports?
As you are aware, there is an ongoing global debate on this issue of so-called vaccine passports. We feel that this has to be linked to the larger issue of vaccine equity, given that many developing countries have not yet been able to vaccinate a large population of a percentage of their population. We would favor discussions on the subject of vaccine passport with greater focus on vaccine equity. I don't have any information about India issuing any vaccine passport.
Madhurendra from News Nation is asking, WHO में कोवैक्सीन के अप्रूवल को लेकर क्या अपडेट है?
ये कोवैक्सीन का WHO में जो इमरजेंसी यूज़ ऑथराइजेशन के लिए जो अप्रूवल की बात हो रही है, हम इस पर काफ़ी नज़र रखे हुए हैं. हमारी यही अपेक्षा होगी कि जल्दी से जल्दी ये पूरा प्रक्रिया कंप्लीट हो जाए. बाकी इसके डिटेल जानकारी के लिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप कंपनी से डायरेक्टली पूछें.
Amiti Sain from Hindu Business Line is asking, can you share some information on the government panel constituted to oversee foreign vaccine supplies? What is its composition and what are the issues it will consider? How soon do you think it can take decision on indemnity for Pfizer and others, as this matter has been pending for long?
Look, this vaccine panel, as you called it, has been set up under the Niti Aayog chairmanship of Dr. Paul, and I think it would be best if you contacted them for details regarding this.
Next set of question is on fugitive Mehul Choksi. Pushkar from New Indian Express is asking, any update on Mehul Choksi? Shrinjoy from Times Now is asking, India has spoken about bringing back both Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi. What progress has been made? Deepak Ranjan from PTI Bhasha is asking, भगोड़े हीरा कारोबारी मेहुल चौकसी को डोमिनिका से प्रत्यर्पण कर भारत लाए जाने के मामले में अब तक क्या प्रगति हुई है? I have similar question from Madhurendra from News Nation and Pranay from ABP News.
We understand that Mehul Choksi continues to be in the custody of authorities in the Commonwealth of Dominica, and legal proceedings are underway. Government of India is actively engaged with the Dominican government to seek the early deportation or handing over to India of Mehul Choksi to face justice in our country. The criminal charges that Mehul Choksi faces in India and the facts relating to his continued Indian citizenship have been suitably brought to the attention of the authorities in the Commonwealth of Dominica.
प्रवीण गौतम फ्रॉम न्यूज पॉइंट इज आस्किंग, बताया जा रहा है कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी साल के अंत तक अमेरिका का दौरा कर सकते हैं। ऐसा है तो इस यात्रा का क्या उद्देश्य रहेगा, इस पर थोड़ा प्रकाश डालें। श्री एंजॉय फ्रॉम टाइम्स नाउ इज आस्किंग, इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एक्सपेक्टेड टू विजिट वॉशिंगटन डीसी इन द फॉल ऑफ दिस ईयर?
Look, I don't have any information to share on this. As you know, announcements of such kind of visits are made at the appropriate time, and for the moment I don't have anything to share with you.
Gautam Lahiri is asking, some senior leaders from Myanmar have taken shelter in India's northeastern states. What's the government view on this development? What is India's view on shadow government of Myanmar formed by the dethroned democratic leaders? How India looking at the corruption charges framed by junta government of Myanmar against Aung San Suu Kyi?
I would refer you to the Ministry of Home Affairs on queries of this nature. As regards the situation in Myanmar, we support the ASEAN initiative and we are in regular touch with ASEAN countries.
Sandeep from Tribune is asking, now that over 3 weeks have passed, is there clarity on the Sri Lankan law on Colombo Port City, and what is the status of Indian infrastructure projects that were discussed by EM Jaishankar in January? Surely there should be clarity on these aspects by now.
I think you're mixing up two quite different issues. I don't know about whether there should or should not be any clarity. Regarding the Colombo Port City project, we have been closely following recent developments from our security perspective. We have also noted the concerns that have been raised in Sri Lanka regarding several aspects of the framework for the Colombo Port City project. We expect Sri Lanka will remain mindful of our excellent bilateral cooperation, including for mutual security in our shared environment, which includes the maritime domain. As regards our projects, India has a very extensive portfolio of development partnership projects in Sri Lanka, and we are in regular contact with Sri Lankan authorities regarding the implementation of these projects.
Madhurendra from News Nation is asking, इमाना सहित कई पाक समर्थित ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ने भारत के कोविड क्राइसिस का फ़ायदा उठाते हुए मदद के नाम पर विदेशों से फंड जुटाए और फिर इसी फंड को भारत विरोधी गतिविधियों में इस्तेमाल किया गया। पाकिस्तान के इस षड्यंत्र पर सरकार का क्या स्टैंड है? सदाम फ्रॉम बियॉन इज आस्किंग, यूएस बेस्ड Pakistan linked charity organization Imana collected funds for assistance to India to deal with the COVID crisis. Has MEA investigated it if they have sent assistance to India? Since the report by Disinfolab says money they collected went to terror outfits in Pakistan, has this been taken into cognizance by MEA?
We have seen media reports in this regard. I do not have any further details to share for the moment, and we are trying to ascertain more information. As soon as we have something, I'd be happy to share them with you.
Sadan from Vion is asking, will India join B3W project announced at G7?
Look, I recall this question was asked in the media briefing immediately following the G7 summit to Additional Secretary ER in the ministry. Let me reiterate that relevant agencies of the Government of India would study the proposal and engage as appropriate at a later stage. I don't think I have much else to add for the moment.
Maha from CNN News 18 is asking, any response to the UN rapporteur on human rights calling the incarceration of Natasha Narwal and Devangana Kalita as deeply concerning?
Look, I don't have an immediate response. However, I understand that this refers to an ongoing judicial process, and we would expect UN special rapporteurs to respect and have a more informed understanding of our legal proceedings.
Pranay from ABP News is asking, अमेरिकी मीडिया में हाल में कुछ कमेंट्री देखी गई जो कोविड-19 के हालात और भारत अमेरिका संबंधों के भविष्य तथा क्वाड की साझेदारी पर टिप्पणियां करती है. इसे आप किस तरह देखते हैं? Srinjoy from Times Now is asking, there have been reports about India being the weakest link of the Quad. How do you view the statement? Similar question from Aditya from CNN News 18.
Look, by now the Quad and the world know India's value. The article in question is clearly uninformed. Whether the article has an inherent bias has been answered already through the tweet by Lisa Curtis, who herself had been quoted in the article but has dissociated herself from the overall message or target of the article.
Srinjoy from Times Now is asking, is a WMCCR commander level talks likely very soon? Ranjit Kumar from Rakshat News is asking, has China proposed new round of military talks at the level of divisional commanders? Deepak Ranjan from PTI Bhasha is asking, पूर्वी लद्दाख में चीन के साथ गतिरोध की ताज़ा स्थिति क्या है? इस घटना के एक साल गुजरने के बाद क्या प्रगति हुई है? I have a similar question from Madhurendra from News Nation.
Let me reiterate that early completion of disengagement in the remaining areas could pave the way for both sides to consider de-escalation of forces and ensure full restoration of peace and tranquility, and thereby enabling progress in bilateral relations.
I have no further questions, sir.
Thank you, Yatin. Before I close, let me just remind all our viewers that International Day of Yoga is on Monday, 21st of June, and all our embassies and consulates across the world will be celebrating this event. In fact, over the weekend itself, as well as in 21st and beyond. Please tune into this channel as well as on our social media platforms to keep abreast of how MEA celebrates yoga across the world. Thank you. Good evening.